Rowoon to wed at 28 and the bride is an older actress, leaving fans around the world reeling. How did the rising K-drama heartthrob keep such a life-changing secret under wraps? What's the real story behind this unexpected match that has shaken K-biz to its core? Join Red Carpet Revealed as we dive deep into the whispers, the hidden clues, and the shocking truth, starting right now. Rowoon had been the kind of celebrity whose every move was tracked, from the way he brushed his hair back during fan meetings to the exact brand of sneakers he wore in airport photos. At 28, he stood at the very peak of his career, adored by millions across Asia, sought after by luxury brands, and headlining drama projects that dominated ratings and streaming charts. In short, he was untouchable. Which is why, when the headline hit in the early hours of a Monday morning, it felt like the world of K-biz had tilted on its axis. Rowoon to wed at 28, bride revealed as older actress. The news read in bold, almost breathless font. Within seconds, phones began buzzing across Seoul and beyond. Group chats exploded with disbelief. Streaming platforms saw an immediate spike in searches for Rowoon's dramas, as if people were scrambling to read into every on-screen glance for signs of a hidden romance. The announcement wasn't accompanied by a flashy press conference or an engagement photoshoot. It was a single, meticulously worded statement from his agency confirming that the actor would marry later this year in a private ceremony. No date, no location. Just one tantalizing detail: the bride was a fellow actress, older than him, with a career just as respected, if not as globally hyped. For hours, her name remained a mystery. The lack of immediate identification only fueled the frenzy. Fans traded theories like rare collectibles, citing old interviews, carpet interactions, and behind-the-scenes footage from industry events. A particular clip from a charity gala began circulating. Rowoon, in a crisp black suit, leaning slightly toward an elegant woman in a floor-length navy gown as they exchanged what looked like a private joke. Could that have been her? The whispers began to harden into speculation. Entertainment reporters, working their sources at light speed, claimed the actress was someone Rowoon had met years ago, not on a drama set, but at a brand endorsement dinner where their seats were side by side. At the time, she was already an established name in the industry, admired for her poise and depth as a performer. Rowoon, still transitioning from idol to actor, had reportedly been struck by her presence but kept the interaction polite and professional. What no one knew was that they kept in touch, their relationship blossoming quietly in the shadows. In the days leading up to the announcement, there had been subtle signs, the kind only the most devoted fans might have caught. Rowoon's sudden social media silence, broken only by a cryptic late-night post of a sunset over the Han River. The actress's absence from a scheduled talk show appearance, explained away as a scheduling conflict. And perhaps most tellingly, a sighting of the two leaving a secluded countryside cafe. Faces partially obscured by masks and hats, their hands almost touching but never quite interlocking in public view. The entertainment outlet that finally broke the bride's identity did so with a single photograph, Rowoon and the actress standing side by side at what appeared to be a private gathering, her hand resting lightly on his arm. He was older by 5 years, known for award-winning performances in both television and film, and carried a reputation for avoiding gossip. Reveal hit social media like a tidal wave. "Can't believe it," one fan tweeted, the post garnering thousands of likes in minutes. "They're perfect together," another wrote, while a third lamented, "My heart is happy for him but broken for me." In the hours that followed, stories about the couple's timeline emerged. To insiders, their romance had been slow-burning. Over years of quiet dinners, shared books, and long conversations about the pressures of fame. Weathered long separations due to filming schedules, keeping their connection alive through nightly video calls and handwritten letters. One friend revealed that Rowoon once flew back from an overseas shoot 2 days early just to surprise her on her birthday. A gesture kept completely off social media. The proposal, it turned out, had been as understated as their relationship. It happened in her apartment, after he had cooked dinner, a recreation of their first meal together. Over dessert, presented a small velvet box, inside which sat a delicate ring with a single diamond. "I wanted it to be just us," he had told her. According to a source who claimed to know the story, she said yes with tears in her eyes. And they celebrated not with champagne in a fancy restaurant, but with hot tea on the balcony. watching the city lights flicker below. The industry, the news was more than just a romantic surprise, it was a challenge to the unspoken norms of K-biz. Male stars at the height of their careers rarely marry young, and when they do, it's often after years of public courtship. Being an older actress, while not unprecedented, was a move that risked stirring commentary about age, status, and fan expectations. Yet the couple's decision to go public in such a controlled way signaled a quiet defiance. They weren't hiding. They simply weren't interested in turning their love into a media circus. Still, the initial reaction was split. Fans celebrated the news with heartfelt messages and fan art, praising Rowoon for following his heart. Expressed disappointment, even anger, at the secrecy, as though they'd been left out of a journey they had emotionally invested in. Internationally, the story trended on Twitter and Weibo, with hashtags translating to Rowoon wedding and older actress bride appearing in multiple languages. Behind the scenes, wedding preparations were already underway. The ceremony was set to take place in a private garden venue known for its breathtaking views and strict privacy policies. Guests would be limited to family, closest friends, and a handful of industry colleagues. Phones and cameras would be banned, with a professional photographer hired to document the event for personal use only. Even the catering menu reflected the couple's personalities, a mix of traditional Korean dishes and the Western comfort foods they both loved. In the weeks before the wedding, the couple made a conscious effort to live as normally as possible. Rowoon was spotted at script readings for his next drama, while the actress attended a film premiere in an elegant black dress, smiling graciously but refusing to answer questions about her personal life. Yet those who looked closely noticed subtle signs of joy, a sparkle in his eye, the way she lingered on the red carpet as if savoring the moment. Friends of the couple spoke of their compatibility in glowing terms. They balance each other perfectly. One mutual acquaintance said, "He brings energy and optimism. She brings wisdom and calm. Together, they've built something solid." Another revealed that they often host small dinners at home, preferring intimate gatherings over flashy parties. "They're just real with each other," the friend added. "No pretenses." When the wedding day finally arrived, the secrecy surrounding the details held firm. Guests arrived in discreet black sedans, their names checked off a list by security staff. The garden venue was transformed into a scene out of a romance film, rows of white chairs, an arch of roses and peonies, and soft music drifting through the air. Rowoon stood at the front in a perfectly tailored suit, his expression a mixture of joy and nervous anticipation. The moment the bride appeared, the atmosphere shifted. She wore an ivory gown that skimmed the floor, her hair swept up to reveal a delicate pearl necklace. As she walked toward him, Rowoon's smile widened, and for a brief second, he looked as though he might forget to breathe. The ceremony itself was short but deeply emotional. Their vows spoke not of grand promises, but of everyday commitments, cooking together, supporting each other's careers, and never letting go of the little rituals that had kept them connected. Dinner was served under the stars. Tables lit by strings of fairy lights. Laughter and clinking glasses filled the night air. But there were no staged performances, no carefully curated photo ops. When the music started, they danced quietly together, unaware of anything beyond their shared space. By the time the evening ended, it's left with not just memories, but a sense of having witnessed something rare, a love story untouched by the machinery of celebrity. In the days after the wedding, the public appetite for details was insatiable. Fans analyzed every grainy paparazzi shot from outside the venue, while magazines speculated about honeymoon destinations. But Rowoon and his new wife remained gracefully silent, sharing nothing beyond a single black and white photo posted on his official account, their hands intertwined, wedding rings catching the light. The caption was just 3 words, "We are home." The industry, too, seemed to take notice of what had happened. Conversations began to shift. If Rowoon could marry at 28, at the peak of his career, an older partner at that, maybe the old rules weren't as unbreakable as everyone thought. For younger stars, it was a quiet encouragement. For older ones, a reminder that love didn't have to wait for a career's twilight. Even months later, the impact lingered. The couple was occasionally spotted in public, at a bookstore, at a quiet restaurant, and each time, the photos sparked a wave of warmth online rather than outrage. It seemed that the world having been shocked into paying attention, had decided to embrace their happiness. And perhaps that was the real twist in this story. The shock had faded, replaced by something steadier: respect. Respect for a couple who had managed to guard their love until it was strong enough to face the spotlight. Respect for the courage it took to rewrite the unwritten rules of K-biz. And respect for the simple truth that, in the end, the brightest stars are just people, searching for someone to walk home with. Even as the seasons changed, the wedding remained one of the most talked about events in recent K-biz history. Variety shows occasionally slipped in playful references, with fellow actors teasing Rowoon about his married glow. His bride, ever composed, continued to focus on her craft, her new projects gaining even more attention now that the public had a deeper curiosity about her. Industry insiders noted how the marriage seemed to have a grounding effect on Rowoon. His interviews carried a calm confidence, his smiles warmer but less performative. 2. Began to see the couple not just as celebrities but as an example of what it meant to protect something precious in a world that thrives on exposure. For every speculative headline, there was a flood of supportive comments: "They deserve happiness, love wins. This gives me hope." What had started as a shock had evolved into a story people wanted to last. And maybe that's why, whenever they are spotted, slipping quietly into a late-night movie screening or walking along the Han River under street lamplight, there's no frenzy. Just the quiet click of a camera from afar, capturing not scandal but serenity. In the end, love had become exactly what they wanted from the start: theirs.